It's a real thing, but it's not like what you think it is. I mean, a lot of people be making fun of social credit by exaggerating it, and it brings out a lot of criticism upon China's lack of human right. Because objectively speaking, this shit seems pretty ridiculous. It's like credit score, but it's not just about financial credibility, it's more like moral credibility. It's about forcing people to behave like a decent civil person. Like, if you do something bad, your point will be deducted, but if you do something good as a citizen, you will get vice versa. And your point is gonna affect your right of using public services. First of all, I want to talk about the consequences, which are really not that bad. No matter how low your social credit is, you're not gonna end up in jail for it. There is no severe punishment. Unless you do something against the law, which is gonna put you in jail anyway, like DUI. But when you're against the law, that's another story. It ain't got nothing to do with social credit no more. On the other hand, you're not gonna receive any significant reward no matter how high your social credit is. You still gotta pay your taxes. You still gotta live your broke ass life. So, what consequences you can expect? True story. 3 months ago, during the Labor Day holiday, I took the train to travel. It was like a 6-hour ride. As you know, I'm a heavy smoker, and I knew I'm not allowed to smoke on the train, so I brought my vape. Of course, I'm gonna bring it anyway. I didn't know vape is not allowed neither. I mean, it's not tobacco, it just contains nicotine. It's not smoke, it just steam. So I didn't bother vaping while I was reading on the train, having a time on my own business, and there came the auxiliary police giving me trouble. As I said in the previous video, the one about the beggars, the auxiliary police ain't no real police. They're a moral police at best. Their uniform is a bluff. They ain't got no real power, they can only give pressure, which the intensity is like a homeless asking you to strip. Shit, I just summarized their job description, but anyway. He was talking out loud. The whole fucking train can hear him. It seems like he trying to embarrass me to give everybody a lesson, but nobody showed recognition. I was like, who the fuck you think you are? You feed off from a Texas ass, primary school dropout ass, ain't got no better clothes to wear but your stinky uniform ass. I got 99 good reasons to embarrass him, but I didn't want a single problem. I just want a situation to be gone ASAP, so despite his terrible attitude, I was like, okay, I didn't know. I'm not gonna do it again. He didn't get his feeling of being authoritative as expected from the crowd nor my reaction, so he brought up social credit with the intention of scaring me. And this is what he was yelling next. You smoked on the train. You should be ashamed. But you kept reading when I was educating you. I will report you. Your social credit will be deducted. You will not be able to buy a train ticket in the next 6 months. Alright, at this point, considering the tension he created toward himself, I believe this is the worst punishment I could get. Cause if he got the power of sending me to hell, he won't bother to mention. He was craving for respect. But I was confused. It was the first time I found out social credit actually exists. But how does it work? Where is it? That motherfucker can just play with my social credit because I didn't give him the satisfaction? If that is the case, then my social credit must be low as fuck. So after he left, I spoke to the train conductor regarding the previous situation and social credit. This is what he told me. Vaping meets the violation criteria, but since you're a first timer, you didn't know. There is no reason for anybody to escalate it, as long as you don't do it again. But if that is not the case, we had to film you with formal confirmation about your violation in the video. Send the video to the certain faculty for examination. They decide to deduct your social credit or not. Worst case scenario, since the violation happened on the train, you are not allowed to purchase train ticket in the next 6 months. So what do we learn? The social credit system is aiming to regulate Chinese people's social behavior. The regulatory scope only covers basic moral rules, and there's tolerance for the uninformed. The proceeding process is very formal, despite the watchdogs are rude, and the consequence is not severe. Let me put it this way. If most people respect the rules and care about social decency, then social credit's existence is very questionable. However, there's a lot of people in China knows the rule, but they chose to violate it anyway. A friendly reminder is not effective without potential punishment. You don't want to hear nobody put their country-ass music on speakers on the bus when you have already had a stressful day, but you can't just confront them. They get offended. And you can't pass a law to put your Uber driver in jail for refusing to take you home because they get offended for you telling them on the phone to drive another 100 meters because that's the designated pickup location. You are there, you are tired as fuck after your 9-to-9 job, you pay, you deserve it. So what you can do to avoid all those social conflicts? It seems like social criticism is considerably necessary. Matter of fact, I wish it could be more strict, cause I'm tired of people rushing for seat in subway, leaving me no space to get out without making physical contact. Social credit makes sense simply because most of our people are disgraceful. They just can't behave themselves without restrictions. But on the other hand, if you're a well-educated civil person, social credit system is not restriction but protection. It's the same shit as if you beat your girlfriend in Disneyland and you got banned for a year or two, or like Donald Sterling got banned from the NBA for racist comments, or like if you spit in Singapore, you're gonna get whipped. Social credit is everywhere in the world with different forms. China just takes it much formally because our people are low as fuck, universally. Of course, there's downsides, such as you could be harassed by the moral police with their awful attitude, but it's still better than watching people shit on the bus and you just can't do shit about it. As for media like Vice, reporting the social credit issue from another perspective, they're not wrong, they're just idealism. Despite their intention, their perspective is kinda narrow in my opinion. Probably because they just do it for fun, they're not trying to solve the problem. It's not like all of a sudden we can achieve human rights and freedoms just because we have good intention. Vice always gives me the vibe that if everybody smoke weed, we ain't got no problem. Okay, I actually agree, but who's gonna grow and collect those weed? I bet it's not your stone, fuck.